Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, dear.
Hi, Peg.
Making her Steppin Out debut, Lakesha Reed, chef and gardener for Buku Eats, which recently opened in Mid-City. They're also uptown in Washington. Welcome, dear.
Thank you.
She's got great show and tell.
Thank you.
And Alan Smason of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. So good to see you. Hello.
Glad to be here.
And later on, we'll be visiting with director and singer Leslie Castay concerning her Sunday night Shakespeare-themed cabaret performance, and that, of course, is The Food of Love. But first up, speaking of food, Poppy.
Speaking of food, well, first we're going to talk about people, because Miss Brenda Gooden, who was the flag bearer, the staff bearer at Tujague's for so many years, she just recently retired about a week or so ago. And we have this picture of she and Mark on the day that they had her retirement party. Miss Brenda was there for almost 50 years. Wow. The same job for almost 50 years. So don't worry. There'll still be red beans and rice, but we're going to miss Miss Brenda.
Her famous red beans and rice.
Her famous red beans and rice. And then there's a new something I wanted to talk about, something called Power Palettes that is going on now through July 31st. And it's the Louisiana Hospitality Foundation and Fidelity Bank celebrating women of New Orleans in the hospitality industry. So there's over 30 different restaurants participating, and a portion of the proceeds of the dedicated dishes at each of these restaurants are going to benefit the Hospitality Foundation, which does such good work here in the community. So there's places like Nacho Mama's and Katie's and Bar Francis. Oh my goodness, that's a watermelon frosé. That's the Queen of New England IP. These are the items that a portion of the proceeds is devoted to. Wait until you see this power roll from Tsunami. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh my
So
goodness.
go online to powerpalettes.com. I always want to Power Pilates to register to win over $1,000 in restaurant gift certificates. And of course, last week we had that little weather incident, and we didn't get to properly commemorate Bastille Day. So if you didn't get to do that, let's do it now, because there's always a good reason to celebrate our French heritage here in New Orleans. And out at Chez Pierre, Taylor Bouy, the 20-year-old daughter of Chez Pierre founders, has opened up her own location on West Harrison Avenue. She's serving breakfast and lunch 7 days a week from 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends it's 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. they're serving. The breakfast, you can go have a standard American breakfast, but also omelets, French toast. For lunch, I promise you that was the best crawfish pie I have ever put in my mouth. A mango avocado chicken salad, along with Vietnamese specialties like pho and banh mi, vermicelli and rice bowls both, and bubble tea. But, you know, there are some puff pastry flights of fancy like I'd never tasted before, like coconut cream or raisin custard croissant. And, you know, it really is all about the quality of the puff pastry and, like with that little item there, that perfect French buttercream. It is so hard to get that really top quality all butter. Go see Taylor. She's got it going on out there. And speaking of French, there is a brand new à la Française happy hour at Antoine's, Monday through Fridays from 2 until 7. There is a pretty substantial menu now that you can order in the Hermes bar. And that includes things like charbroiled oysters, remoulade, ravigote, souffle potatoes, poor boys and salads you can get, but also bargains, $6 French-inspired cocktails like gimlets, lemon drops, and French 75s, just $6, along with $6 glasses of French wines, $3 local beers, and for $5, there's bistro bites with cheese guers and crawfish cardinal, and oh my goodness gracious deliciousness, all right there in the Hermes bar. You can wear your shorts and your t-shirt and have the pomme souffle. You know,
sounds
beat that.
good to me. Thank you so much, Poppy.
You.
Lakesha, we're so thrilled you're here, and I know that y'all have been, it's a family-owned business, and have been uptown in Washington, but you've moved to Mid-City, yay! And this is, of course, Buku Eats across from the VA hospital, right before Galvez, if you're coming, like, let's say, from Lakeview. But show us some of the wonderful things, and what are y'all trying to do there?
Well, we have, we're doing the traditional local fare, New Orleans traditional, but a healthier version. So instead of having heavy butters, lards, we use coconut oils, avocado oils, grapeseed oils, and so we're trying to keep the city healthy. So here we have our seafood gumbo.
Okay, let's tilt that up just a little. There you go, you got it. Okay. That is so delicious. It has a kick to it, too.
It has a little kick.
A little kick.
A little kick. And then here we have our jerk sandwich, which has fresh collard greens, fresh blue cheese crumbles, and blue cheese dressing on a Hawaiian roll, Hawaiian Kaiser roll, and here you see our fresh collard greens, which you've
let's
had
talk
a
about
chance
how
to try.
yes, I did, which is
Yes.
certainly delicious. But let's talk about how fresh they are, okay? Because you're the gardener too,
I am
and
the gardener.
chef. Huh?
I'm the gardener and the co-chef, and I like to just kind of transition to only being the gardener, but right now I'm a little dual duty.
But y'all have a garden out in Kenner.
We have a garden in Kenner. I currently live in the house of my great-grandmother. She lived to be 104 and only ate from her garden. So I'm trying to follow in her footsteps and introduce it to the city, almost like a farm-to-table concept.
Very good. Well, we're going to be showing some photos of the restaurant itself, the exterior. It's so cute. It's casual, so you can feel very comfortable going there. But you're open every day, aren't you?
Every day.
And what goes on the weekends?
We have brunch every Saturday and Sunday. We have a menu that you can order from on Saturdays, and then Sunday is our all-you-can-eat brunch buffet from 11 to 3 on both days.
Did you have a question, Poppy? Okay.
Well, I just wanted to ask her how in goodness's name can you possibly grow things and cook them too? Because I have always thought that that was the hardest job, two jobs, both chef and farmer. How are you doing that?
Well, I have two fabulous co-owners, which is my brother. He's a veteran military from the Marines, and then the co-owner, Philip Hare. So I have a little help, and I'm just, like, again, I'm trying to be the gardener and stay in the garden. My grandmother, she lived so long, and she was excellent and only ate from the garden. So I just want everybody, I want the whole city to get what's good. So you don't have to, you can still eat good and it be good for you. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to get to the city. Like, it doesn't have to be bland, just as good for you. It can be delicious.
Well, the jerk chicken, I think that's something that a lot of people want to know more about too, because that's a dish you don't see around too much.
Well, you don't, but you know, as in New Orleans, we're a melting pot. So we have so many people in the city, and we just take a little bit. That's what Beaucoup is, a lot. You know, we take a lot of everybody something and have something for everyone, a little bit something for everyone. So
you also got etouffee on the menu.
We have
the menu's pretty long. You have a catering menu.
We have a catering menu. We do full service catering. We do small parties, bar mitzvahs, baby showers. We do it all. So just give us a call and we'll get something together for you.
We're thrilled you're here. And once again, I love the show and tell, but those collard greens, of course, I haven't tasted everything on the menu, but I did taste a lot that day.
You did.
Errol and I had quite a lovely meal. We just kept ordering things. And but the collard greens and the gumbo, unbelievable. It really is. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We just want to, you know, we want to provide something that's good for the city, and also at our Washington location, that's kind of like an underprivileged area, we want to provide vegetables and fresh food for people who won't have the access to it. So that's our goal, is to feed the city, make it good.
And that's a Washington
yeah.
Durgeon, you said?
Yeah, we're inside the Aaron's meat market there.
Okay.
And then at Canal Street, we're across from the VA. And so, like I said,
so BukuEats.com.
BukuEats.com, and then Facebook? Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram is at Buku Eats.
And ask her who does the social media.
This girl.
Oh, she's fun.
So she's a little busy.
She does everything.
Okay, well, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having us.
And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Pierre Villery, hello Pierre, told us what Tangipahoa parish town has a name that could be associated with July 4th, and the ethnic group most associated with the town, that's Independents, of course, and Sicilians, of course, is the ethnic group, long time involved. Now, tonight's question. A snack thrown from floats, a riverfront walkway, and a former mayor all share this name. Identify them. Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. A dish towel with the message Jazzed at New Orleans, from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. By the way, is a brand new orangutan. Did you hear about that? A little baby orangutan just born yesterday. Go to WYES.org for our online calendar, including, we love musician Matt Lemler performing songs from Louis Armstrong and Louis Prima and Fats Domino and more from New Orleans artists at the Bombay Club on Tuesday. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program. And earlier today, Leslie Castay visited our studios to share a backstage look at her new Shakespeare-themed cabaret show, The Food of Love. Leslie, a musical nod to Shakespeare. Once again, I know you started this tradition last year at Tulane, but tell us about Sunday night.
It's great to be back. The show is called The Food of Love. It's not a show about food. It's subtitled The Broad, the Ballad, and the Bard. It's my homage to music inspired by Shakespeare. And it's not just your usual West Side Story, Kiss Me Kate, Boys from Syracuse. I work some other things into there too. Some lesser known jazz tunes and some pop songs that you might not realize that have a Shakespearean connection as well.
Now you have a little bit of assistance with your
I have
another singer.
Yes,
Wonderful.
I have a special guest star. Clint Johnson comes and joins me about 2/3 into the show, and we have a lot of fun together, and he plays a very important guest star.
Now what happens, like during the year, you are very much, your radar is very attuned to looking for songs. In effect, you're the curator of this, huh?
I had a lot of fun doing my research, and it's, you know, the list of songs that didn't make the cut are about twice as long as the songs that actually, because it has to be a 70-minute show. You know?
Which means we have to have part two sometime.
We do,
okay.
we do.
So what are you singing for us tonight?
Tonight I'll be singing So in Love from Cole Porter's Kiss Me Kate, of course, which is an adaptation of The Taming of the Shrew.
And beautifully accompanied by?
Jefferson Turner, my wonderful musical director.
And now here's Leslie.
This song proves that no matter how old a woman is, when she falls in love, she feels like a teenager all over again. Like Juliet. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he shall make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Strange dear, but true dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky. So in love with you am I. Even without you, my arms fold about you. You know, darling, why So taunt me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till I die. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love. Am
Wow. And of course, do not miss the Food of Love. And that is also called the Ballad, the Broad, and the Bard on Sunday, this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. at Tulane's Lupin Theater. Go to neworleanshakespeare.org to purchase your tickets. And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we're featuring the work of Annie Lousteau. Lousteau creates acrylic paintings, assemblages, and hand-painted furniture. Her love of music and long-time study of the piano has inspired much of her artwork, which often portrays musical themes. And she'll be showing like all of her artwork one night only. It's at the lobby of the St. Joe Lofts, located on Constant Street. That's, of course, on Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, you can call 338-2990. But I know she's trying to actually sell everything that night, so hopefully she'll do that. She's a sweet lady. Now it's time for Alan.
Well, thanks to Tropical Storm and I guess for a short time Hurricane Barry, we had some real drama here in New Orleans. As a theater critic, of course, I deal constantly with dramas, but nothing mattered more last weekend than when the news rang out that the Rolling Stones were postponing their show at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. So that was the show, of course, everybody recalls, that was supposed to replace their canceled appearance at Jazz Fest. I managed, however, to snag some last-minute floor seats, about half of what the Jazz Fest people were going to pay. And I'm delighted to tell you the band performed as well as I've ever seen. My fifth time of seeing. This is one shot. I took a mic. Yeah, I've got several others that are just as good. I hate to say it, but you know, it worked out really well for me. I was close enough to take some very good pictures. But I've been a big fan for years and always close my oldie show with a song by the Stones. So, you know, it was wonderful to be there to revel in all of what was there at the Dome, and I think everybody who was there had a great time. Now, before we move on to the shows that are currently on the boards, I wanted to give a little shout out to one that just closed. Last week, because of Barry, I wasn't able to do my review, but it would have been a sterling review. You know, a star-felt homage to the production of She Loves Me.
I saw it. It was fabulous.
I got to say, Dodie Piper, who you see here, is just so wonderful. She was in it. Rich Arnold was great in the role. Even though Barry canceled 2 of the performances, they had a couple more that were rescheduled, but one of the best nights of theater I've seen in a long, long time.
And the costumes and the sets.
Everything together
and
just
the orchestra,
melded. Yes.
Always
So,
first class.
Again, so kudos to artistic director Michael McKelvey, first off, who directed it. She Loves Me, again, is now a memory, but coming up, they're in rehearsal for it now, is the premiere of Matilda. And I understand they may be appearing on a future show here at Steppin Out.
Yes.
So that'll be at the beginning of next month, and I really urge everybody to see what will be a regional premiere. Get your tickets now before they're gone. Now, over in Kenner, Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts, they're finishing their run of Mamma Mia. That's the ABBA jukebox musical, of course. It's directed by Ricky Graham, and I'm happy to report, by the way, he's on the mend from the recent leg surgery he had. He's absolutely, you know, doing well and performing well. This show is virtually sold out. So to give a review for you to get tickets is going to be difficult because only the more determined of you are going to be successful. The cast is headed by Ashley Smetherman Lemler. Of course, that's Matt Lemler's wife, as Donna, and Leanne Hovis as her daughter, Sophie. They're both very good. I would say there's a really great deal of special moments in Mamma Mia that raise that theatrical experience high. But for me, I thought that a few of the moments could have been enhanced so much more and missed a little bit of its full potential. Because let's face it, at the last outing, me and my girl, Jefferson Turner, led 7 other talented performers in a live orchestra. And the results were quite profound, and the crowd reciprocated in kind. Even though Rivertown is really known for many, many musicals, they have yet to really implement a lot of musicals that aren't playing with a tape, and I just hope that they can ramp up their performances in the future, because it really does enhance the players on stage and really does provide a better experience for the audience. Kudos to Lisa Piccone-Love and Trina Beck for their support, and to the male performers, Matthew Michael, Warren Hovis, and Gary Rucker. Also, Jason Heller does a nice job paired with Leanne Hovis as her love interest. Heidi Molnar's choreography works well to really complement the popular ABBA tunes, and of course those are all penned by Benny Anderson and Bjorn Ulvaeus. Super Trooper and Voulez-Vous were two of the numbers that show Heidi's fantastic work as a choreography. The Act 2 opener I was not as impressed with. It was an attempt to use some tap in there, and I know Heidi loves tap, but it just didn't work for me. But other than that, I thought everything else was great. A special nod to Shelby Mack for her designs, of the scenic designs that she does, and Kate Jensen for these beautiful, wonderful costume renderings. Again, Mamma Mia, if you can get a ticket, God bless you, because they're just about virtually sold out. But again, kudos to them for, you know, they always do great summer shows, and this summer is no exception. Now, on to the World War II Museum. There's only going to be really one performance that I can talk about. That's going to be next weekend. That's going to be on the 27th of July. But this is Freedom. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, Freedom was actually started back in the late 90s with Joyce Pulitzer. She had a fellow who she was working with, David Seelig, and they started work on this piece. Essentially what happened was David got sick. Kitty Greenberg, who we all know and love from WYES, she filled in, and then Sean Patterson was filled in when Kitty got sick. So both David Seelig and Kitty Greenberg are of blessed memory now. Sean, of course, is still with us. This had its first rendering back in 2013, and Williams, this time out, offered the directorial role to Maxwell Williams, that is, and then she offered the role of Yetta back to the same lady who did it in 2013. That's Lorraine LeBlanc. She does a really wonderful job starring as the female lead in this, but she's essentially a Holocaust survivor. And then Curtis Billings tackles the role of the male lead. He plays Danny McCabe. Again, this is set in an unspecified, I guess you might say, immigration or naturalization office in New York City in the late 90s. And through their interaction, they essentially discuss their past. Yetta has established a new life in America, and of course, McCabe as well. It turns out that LeBlanc really, is super, talking about the horrors of the Holocaust and how she rose above all of that, but she has a really deep, dark secret she hasn't revealed to her family. And meanwhile, Billings' role is that of a conflicted Catholic who's in Northern Ireland, and he is both a victim and, unfortunately, a perpetrator of violence. And of course, if that gets out, his citizenship may never happen. So again, all of that adds to the drama there. Freedom's really, though, more than anything else, a love letter to all of the diversity and all that is possible in the United States. It's the real juxtaposition of an elderly Jewish woman from the Holocaust with that of a young man emerging from the horrors of the bloody rancor in Northern Ireland. The play has some strong language, but again, I would really recommend it very highly. Again, it runs one more time. You'll see it on the 27th, and many, many people are going to be at that performance because of this rescheduling due to missed performances. So yes, get your tickets for that as well. And essentially, wanted to mention one last thing, and that is
Wicked, huh? Wicked?
That we have Wicked coming up now.
It's coming back.
The tickets are just coming out right now. If you get a chance and you're not a season subscriber, try to get your tickets for this now because they go fast, and we have established a record with Wicked other than Hamilton. I think Hamilton broke that record, but in terms of audience participation, ticket sales, Wicked has established a long-running record here twice. So maybe 3 times will be the charm too.
That's right. Thank you. And now it is time for our picks. Poppy.
Well, if you didn't know it, it's Tales of the Cocktail. So head down to the French Quarter and participate. It's easy to get in the events. It's lots of fun. Drag brunch at Tujague's Tales of the Cocktail event on Sunday. And then Tuesday from 4:30 till 6:30, head to Claret Wine and Cocktail Bar on Magazine Street, where you can have the painted pop-up experience, get your fingernails done, and drink some delicious wines all at the same time.
What a great combo.
Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yes. Lakesha, you wanted to mention first responders?
Yeah, we're a veteran-owned business, and we provide a 50% off off discount for all first responders, all veterans, all first responders, firemen, police officers, sheriffs, and can't leave out the vegans and vegetarians. We also have options for those for brunch and our normal menu.
All right, dear. Thank you. Alan.
I just wanted to give a shout out. Anthony Bean Community Theater has their summer show coming up. Check it out somewhere on his website. And Radical Buffoons, their season announcement is coming out. That'll be Sunday 21st at the Urban South Brewery.
Now, explain what Radical Buffoons
well, this is a group. They put on.
Just in case for the uninitiated.
They put on theatrical shows.
All right.
And they've been you know, doing a couple of seasons now, and so they want to have a
You're
new
not
season
passing opinion. That is the name.
That's their name. Yes,
I'm just saying, when somebody says they're a radical buffoon, you know, just so you know, that is their chosen name.
And they chose it, not me.
They chose it, right? Okay. Now, time for my picks. The annual Hurricane Turning Ceremony, dedicated to Our Lady of Prompt Succor, is tomorrow. It's July 20th at 7 p.m. It's located at the Ashad Meadows Peristyle. Now, that is in Bywater, 3319 Rosalie Alley, right off Rampart Street. You can bring offerings such as statues, flowers, candles. It's a mix of voodoo and Catholicism. They ask that you please dress in white, be cool, or all red. Sally Ann Glassman has put this together for many years. It's very reverential. For more information, you can call 948-9961. But this, you might want to look at a Google map too, as to where that is. Also, beginning tomorrow and running through July 30th is the New Orleans Piano Institute and Keyboard Festival, featuring guest artist recitals, master classes, and solo and concerto competitions. The events take place at Loyola University's Communications and Music Complex on St. Charles Avenue. You can go to masno.org to learn more. And this Sunday, Summer Sundays, continue at the River House at the Crevasse 22 from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's in St. Bernard. The event is free and includes interactive talks, art activities. G. Nathan and Bob Tanner are very involved with that. There's a plant walk. It's a beautiful area. There are woods and all kinds of art objects. Very, very interesting. Just a reminder that the running of the bulls did get postponed until August. So they will still have that, because I know it benefits a good cause as well. But it did get postponed to the latter part of August. Thank you all very much. Wonderful to have you for our first time. And thank you so much for watching. Good night.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Christovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Christovich.